Hello, beautiful people. Vegetables are toxic, and there's science to prove this. Now, this video is specifically for anybody who might be getting triggered from that statement. Or, better yet, if you're somebody who is like, yeah, vegetables are toxic, this video is also for you. Really, if you are somebody who thinks that there is a right or wrong way when it comes to fueling your body. If that's you, I really encourage you to continue to watch this video all the way through, because what I intend to do here is share with you a perspective that is going to really create this major breakthrough in your thinking process of something being good or bad or right or wrong when it comes to nutrition. And in essence, I'm going to walk you through and reveal to you what we can consider to be a secret of the universe. And today's video was inspired by a comment that I received on my social media, which if you don't follow my Instagram, I really encourage you to do so, because I'm sharing daily content that will inspire you to live your greatest life in your greatest body. Nevertheless, I took a photo of what I was eating, and there was some sauteed kale, because I absolutely love kale. And truth be told, I love vegetables. I really love all of the things, honestly. And this gentleman commented, he responded to my photo, and he says, "Drew, don't you know that kale is toxic for you?" And he sent me an article that had the research and the science to prove that kale is in fact toxic to the human body. And I simply sent him a response back and said, it's amazing how our mind creates our reality. Something along those lines. Because I immediately thought to myself, like, oh my goodness, this poor guy, he doesn't get it. And in fact, most people don't get it. They don't, perhaps some of them get it, but they don't really integrate it into their life. And by it, I'm referring to what I believe it's quantum physics considers to be the observer effect. And I wrote down the definition right here. The observer effect is the fact that the intention of the observer alters the way the thing being observed expresses itself. In other words, to use our example of vegetables, if the scientist or the observer has the intention of wanting to prove that kale is toxic, it is their thought permeates and creates and manifests this energetic field. And we'll talk about that in a moment. And that energetic field is now going to influence and impact the way the energy radiates from the kale itself, and it's going to influence the data and the science. And so if the person intends to find science that indicates his hypothesis of it being toxic, he's going to find it. Because you can find science to prove any belief, just about any belief. You can find science to prove it. Which is why there's so many different books about carnivore is the best way to eat, or vegetarian is the best way to eat, or eating just fruit, etc., etc. And there's so much science to prove it. And nobody takes a step back and be like, well, how does that even make sense, right? It makes sense because you always find what you're looking for. And coming back to the reality that thoughts are things, I wrote this down and I wanted to share it. Thoughts that are focused upon, they become crystallized and they transmit and they radiate energy. Okay, thoughts that you don't focus on, thoughts that the mind just naturally comes up with because the nature of the mind is to think thoughts, those thoughts, they don't influence reality. They don't radiate an energy, okay? Just because you think of something crazy, if you don't focus on it, it's not going to impact your day. It's not going to influence your future experience of reality. It's not going to influence anything because it's just a meaningless thought. But if you put meaning to that thought, if you focus on that thought, it solidifies and now becomes a real thing and radiates and transmits energy. And because everything is more energy than mass, that thought that's creating this energy influences everything around it, for better or for worse, and it attracts to it like energy. And so I wrote down in my notes as well that there's a unique balance we must be able to find here, because according to what I'm saying, where if you think something's going to be good for you, it will be good for you. If you think something's going to be bad for you, it will be bad for you. You can pose the argument of, well, Drew, if that's how reality works, then that means if I think ice cream is good for me, I can eat it all day, every day. And if I just believe it's helping me heal and grow and live my most vital life, it should do that, right? And no, it's not right. It's actually totally fucking wrong, because there's this balance, okay? Hopefully I can articulate this clearly. There's this balance of being able to differentiate what the mind wants, which is, I want to eat ice cream, to what your heart, your intuition, your soul, your higher self wants, which it wants nutrient-dense foods most of the time. Yes, sometimes it's really going to want ice cream just because it's fun and it's playful and it's exciting. It's in the moment and the soul wants exciting things. But it wants ice cream in the moment because that exciting thing is going to influence it and create more love and more harmony in its current environment. But when you're at home, after a long day and you're stressed, the soul is probably, okay, it might, but it's probably not really going to want ice cream. It's probably going to want to eat something else that's going to kind of raise its vibration. But the mind is like, well, I love ice cream, so I should eat it all the time. So there's this unique balance of being able to like check yourself and discern the thoughts and compare it to how you really feel. And it's a very vague thing that I'm trying to say right here. And it's for everybody to really come to their own conclusion. But I trust that you can follow along there. So I wrote that the end all be all goal is, let me read this before I share it. Here it is. The end all goal is to ask yourself, okay, and this comes to when you're deciding what nutritional approach to take, okay, is to ask yourself, does what I think and does what I believe to be true, does it help me live a better, more enjoyable, happier life? If the answer is yes, then go all in and enjoy that and believe that and act in alignment with that. If the answer is no, and you're like, no, thinking and believing that vegetables are toxic, that sucks because I enjoy eating salads in the summertime, right? If that's the case, then you're going to have to shift your belief and you're going to have to find other studies and science to justify this new belief, okay? Because as I alluded to earlier, thoughts are things, they create your reality, they influence every single thing. They influence the way your genes express themselves, the way your biological system fires and wires together. And ultimately, you're the creator of all of this. So, so act responsibly and act in a way that helps you live your best life, which ultimately helps other people live their best life, okay? Other than that, that's all that I want to share for today's video. If you enjoyed this, please do me a huge favor, subscribe to the channel. I'm reigniting the YouTube page. I went away for a while because I'm just doing a lot of podcasts, and I'll attach that in the description down below. I'm doing a lot of stuff on Facebook as well, going live on Facebook a couple times a week. So if you want to join our free private Facebook group, you can do that in the description down below. Other than that, I will wrap up this video saying right now, at the time of me uploading this video, I'm not sure when you're watching this, but right now we do have a few spots open in our 8-week online coaching program. It's a very comprehensive, holistic system to help you reprogram your mind to transform your body using nutrition, using exercise, using very comprehensive psychological principles, neuroscience, and also incorporating some supplements, etc., to really optimize your energy, your life, and your body transformation for the sake of helping you live your greatest life in your greatest body, because that's what we're doing, baby. So if you want to learn more about what that entails, I'll also add the website in the show notes down below so you can read a little bit more about it and decide whether or not you want to commit to living your greatest life in your greatest body, or continue to do whatever you're doing. If it sounds like a pretty cool idea, I encourage you to trust yourself and to do it, right? Just to make that decision and say, okay, I'm going to do this, knowing that the universe will have your back. I can continue to talk forever, but I love you all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe, please share this video. I'll talk to y'all soon.